morning, everybody. I'm just a simple man, and my name is Noah Foster, and welcome once again to another episode of 205 Live Matters, where this week we have quite a loaded show as we have had quite a showcase from the Cruiserweights, not only from this week's episode, but this past weekend as well. We're going to discuss Evolve, Extreme Rules, this week's episode, and of course, our stance going forward, and plug a recommended match for you to check out. But before we get into that, allow me to introduce you to my guest, to my Allow me to introduce you, fudge, I'm not editing this out. I'm natural. Botch me, I don't care. Allow me to introduce you to my co-host. He's a family man. He is a natural when it comes to cruiserweight knowledge, WCW and beyond. And he's just my good friend here, who also has a birthday coming up soon. It's, of course, a holiday. Mr. Christopher Mace. Chris, how are you? And are you excited for your birthday this weekend?
Oh, it's going good. Yep, got a long weekend of fun stuff to do with the family, and going to go see the live event here in Pensacola for WWE on Sunday. So hopefully I get to see some 205 Live stars there. So I'm very excited about that.
Nice. Well, regardless, Raw, SmackDown Live, however you look at it on TV, being there live is always more fun because you're actually interacting with people that either oppose you or agree with you, and it's just the atmosphere itself. So let's go ahead and get right into this week. Before we discuss this week's episode, I feel like we first definitely need to discuss, as we always do, the Cruiserweight Championship match. And why the fuck did they play fucking Shane Roman promo during it? Bullshit match. Don't give a damn about those two during this. You got Coach falling throughout the whole kickoff show. I could have discussed this bullshit before. But I digress. I'm better. Anyway, so this was in Drew Gulak's hometown of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and he got, of course, a Hero's Welcome that I was very glad to hear, very audibly, and it was a very great back-and-forth match. You really got all the greatest hits from both men, with a couple of interesting spots, I must say. Before I go any further in this match, Chris, what was your thoughts on this championship match?
It was a pretty good match. Like I said, we got a lot of the great hits here because I only think they went 7 or 8 minutes in the match. It was really a short match, and I think that's not a good thing. They should have given them the length of time like they did at Stomping Ground. They gave them at least a good 15 minutes to showcase everything and build up the story. I feel like here they were having to do the greatest hits and having a rush, so the storytelling wasn't always quite there like normally you would see on 205 Live. But for what it was a very good match, and I was actually happy Gulak retained, just because of the fact, normally, you know how main roster and everything else goes. If it's in your hometown, you're going to lose somehow. That's their theory, and they didn't do it this time, thank God.
That freaking hometown curse, yeah, because Nice was definitely in hostile territory. And besides the promo spot that I just ranted about earlier, and I don't mind doing it again, that's right, fuck you, Shane. Anyway, yeah, I thought this was a very good match. You should have been given more time. They definitely should have put this in the main card for not only the fact that the Cruiserweights matter, and that was one of the better matches, of course, because, you know, I'm biased, but also I'm a huge fan of Drew Gulak. It was his hometown. You should have given him a better reception. But I digress. You did the best you could, I guess, even with the damn promo that led to a rest spot. But, yeah, it was a pretty fun match, I thought. I mean, you had all the greatest hits, like I said, out of the gate. Ding, ding, bell rings. Drew Gulak, he comes in like hellfire and just kicks the daylights out of freaking Tony Nese. And then, of course, we got a little bit of a flurry from Tony Nese, who capitalized a little bit. And then a very interesting spot where, again, this is how educated these two men are. Drew Gulak's on the apron. He comes off. Tony Nese on the apron. He does his cartwheel. And, of course, before Tony Nese can capitalize, Drew Gulak gets up on the apron and runs at him literally with a freaking stiff lariat off the apron. Drop the guy. And then Gulak, of course, with some more running drop kicks and a side headlock that led to that promo. Fuck the Roman Shane promo. Didn't give a damn. Pump handle slam by Tony Nese, his classic. Kick out. Gulak, of course, checking his fingers, making sure he didn't have, like, nerve damage, took a feel of everything. Running Nese was countered. There was exchange of suplex, hard elbow, hard forearm. But then there was a messy spot here, 1 of 2 I thought, with the corner moonsault. I guess it was body on body, but I don't think there was enough contact for it to be that effective, even with the apron spot. And then the spot that I was worried about, the moonsault, Tony Nese's typical moonsault, he hit Drew Gulak with his knees in the ribs. You're supposed to make contact with the person using your chest. So that could have led to indicative internal damage. And I felt like there was a little bit here because I was worried Gulak was grasping and breathing hard. I mean, it wasn't like Will Ospreay, who is inhuman. But anyway, Following this, there was some jabs, there was some chops, jump, roll through, both men going, countering each other's move off the sunset flip, and then the counter off the sunset driver, respectively, led to Gulak getting a wicked, standard, simple, Walter-esque powerbomb into, of course, his finisher cycle and clash. Crowd is elated. Drew Gulak wins 1-2-3. So, again, it is still Gulak 205 Live, and he once again proves adapt to survive. I'm surprised copyright evolution, adapt or perish, but I guess that's why. So great match, and of course the opening of this week's episode of 205 Live, segue, was episode number 138 from Worcester, Massachusetts. Apologies if I screwed up that town's name. Where, of course, they first recapped this, and Gulak introduced us to the show. He said, Nese lacked the killer instinct. And Gulak has finally erased all doubts, even from Tony Nese. And now you see what my pain and punishment can bring, and more of it awaits. So welcome to my 205 Live. He owns the brand, and I love it. Key thing here, adapt to survive. And that's going to be the outlook we're going to definitely look at this episode and the episodes going forward. So, of course, a strong, simple, powerful opener representing the champ and representing, of course, already building who could challenge next. We got 4 weeks out to figure this thing out. So I thought it was an effective opener, didn't you?
Yes, I'm glad Drew Gulak's the Cruiserweight champion. He deserved it. He was there from day one, busted his ass, changed his whole gimmick around. He's adapted. This is the Drew Gulak I want to see. I want to see that killer instinct with Drew Gulak. He cares nothing about 205 Live. He's not there to make 205 Live better. He's there to take care of himself. That's what he needed, that killer instinct. I love this side of Drew Gulak. I hope he's going to have a long Cruiserweight title reign. I hope so.
Yeah, me too. And we're going to get more into that soon when we get to SummerSlam, folks. Join the party. I'll be there live, and I cannot wait to definitely see right now what I'm most excited for, the Cruiserweight Championship match, still to be determined. But anyway, so we get right into the show, and of course our welcome into 205 Live by our standard commentary team of Nick Joseph, Nigel McGuinness, and Aiden English. And our first match is, of course, Nigel McGuinness' favorite actors ever, Bale. It's the Singh brothers, Sunil Singh, in singles action against Akira Tozawa with D. Brian Kendrick in his corner. D. Brian Kendrick looks like he's back to his old look and everything. Bye-bye, Spanky. Mm-hmm. And basically this was brought out when the Bollywood boys, going off their little Bollywood actors, award-winning actor gimmick, said, we're giving you this Bollywood award for best comeback. This pen might as well be a Bollywood award. I bet that bowling trophy ain't worth $50. Anyway, this is a fun little match, I thought. Simple exchange, building a feud between these guys. Once again, you don't really have a tag team division, established, but you are building tag team wrestling within 205 Live. So I respect it. And you got all the simple spots. Fake out jab, distraction, suicide dive, into the apron running senton. I love that. Way to think on the fly, Akira Tozawa. Distraction, roll up, Akira wins. Post-match, Akira, D. Brian Kendrick, they stand tall. It would surprise me next week that we get D. Brian Kendrick versus his brother, Surreal Singh. I cannot even name these two. They are the twins, dang it. And, of course, Akira Tozawa, I guess he thanked the Academy because he took the award in the end. Not really much more to say on this match. What about you? What were your thoughts on this match and apparently the angle we might be going towards?
I think it's just a means to an end. It's just to continue the storylines. We're going to end up getting that tag team match with the Tozawa and the Brian Kendrick versus the Bollywood brothers, Singh brothers, Bali. Like I said, I'm glad that Singh brothers, and I'll keep saying I'm glad Singh brothers are back on 205 Live away from Jinder Mahal. They're very entertaining. They're actually looking like they actually can wrestle, which I'm very proud of because, like I said, I think they're doing good in 205 Live. So it's going to be interesting to see this tag match. Let's see here. Are we going to actually get a clean win with Brian Kendrick and Akira Tozawa winning? Or are the Singh brothers going to pull up a win and then we're going to see a turn and have a feud with Akira Tozawa and Brian Kendrick? That's what I'm more interested to see. It could go either way.
That's exactly my thinking, too, because as you know, they don't do Control-C, Control-V when it comes to the climactic ending of these feuds. They don't repeat them, and they don't repeat the same match. You got to imagine something's got to give within one of these four men. And I got a pretty good idea who, but I'll save that till later as this continues. So going from there, we go into another video package for one of the hottest up-and-comers on 205 Live, Roberto Carrillo. The previous one talked about humble beginnings and what got him into wrestling. This one talks about what he plans on doing with wrestling. He wants to keep the Lucha Libre style alive, but he's living his dream right now. It's been 1 year, and he wants to become Cruiserweight Champion. Simple as that. So it's really going to be interesting to see where they go from here, part 3. Is he going to make his stance on what he believes Drew Gulak is? Is he going to put his name into the Cruiserweight title picture? Only time will tell. Not really much more to say about this. Any other thoughts about you and this package, Roberto Carrillo?
Like I said, I'll keep stating it. They're doing perfect with him, how they're slow burning him right now. They're going to build him up. They just need to continue to build him up. There's going to be other competitors he needs to face, get some more good solid wins under his belt before he goes back to Drew Gulak, because I feel like if they put him in a Cruiserweight title match against Drew Gulak now and they go with that old teacher versus student dynamic, it's not going to benefit them, because they're not going to take that title off Drew Gulak right now. As hot as he is right now, on fire as he is, I want him to be built up, so when it comes to that time, it's time for Gulak to lose that title. He could lose to him after he's been built up and slow burned, and not force down people's throat, Roman, force down people's throats and everything like that. You're doing it right with the slow burn. It's reminding me a lot of how they did Batista and Triple H, how they slow burned it and let it simmer and got it just right. That's what they're doing right now. They're doing perfectly with this right now. They need to continue to do that, not just immediately push them for a title match.
I'm surprised you didn't say Shane McMahon, but I digress. Yeah, and again, I really feel like they're not going to push him this quick towards the Cruiserweight title picture, but I'm sure he's going to elevate whoever is going to challenge Drew Gulak on the Cruiserweight title picture while still being protected in defeat. Bottom line is this: Roberto Carrillo, definitely one of the pillars of 205 Live's current foundation and the future. I can see him carrying the division, but not this soon. Anyway, moving on from there, we go into Mike Kanellis. You know what? Why don't you go ahead and break down his match with Jackson James and what happened afterwards?
Oh, Lord. What match did he really have? It's pretty much a basic, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. I'm going to hit Love Hurts, as we call it, even though it doesn't have an official name to finish. We call it Love Hurts on this show. That's what I named it. That's what we're sticking with. Simple as that, as Snow would say. He hit the Love Hurts. He won the match. After that, he called out Drake Maverick. Drake Maverick came out there. What a fucking promo by Mike Kanellis. That was just pure fire and passion that came out of him, pushing Drake Maverick, pushing him and pushing him and pushing him and pushing him. And everybody knows in the real world, you push a man so far, and you start talking about his family and his wife, you push him so far with every action. Kevin Sullivan said this best from years ago. With every action's going to come a reaction. That's exactly what happened. Drake Maverick snapped. He offended his wife's honor. I mean, Drake Maverick did great too. He admitted his falseness. Yes, you're right. I was chasing after 24/7 title. You admit I didn't consummate my marriage. And Mike Kanellis, we're supposed to relate. Like I said, that's awesome. They're going to set that match up. But like I said, they need to have some kind of stipulation to this match. It needs to either be something along the lines: if Drake loses, he's no longer general manager, and he gives up being general manager. And if Mike Kanellis loses, he needs to be gone from 205 Live. They got to have some kind of stipulation. This has been building so long. There has to be some kind of stipulation to make Drake Maverick finally say, yes, I will fight you. I will get in that ring. I will fight you. That's it. I'm done.
I mean,
because you could see where Drake Maverick at the end, he was just like, you see where he was like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. He was having second thoughts afterwards. Because he knew he crossed the line.
Yeah, here's the thing, folks. 205 Live, yes, they do have stories. This is the first in-ring promo I can remember in such a long time, because it's always been like backstage or via satellite or after the episode ends and each man gets one-on-ones from a room concluded. This was genuine in the ring. It finally reached a climax. There's only so much a man can take. He hit the keywords on the head. They called out their entire history, including the friggin' events of Monday Night Raw, which I can't believe are actually playing into this in a right way. Because not only did it bring up the 24/7 chase and embarrassing the brand because of it at the point that he's walking around in his underwear trying to become 24/7 champ, but again, Drake Maverick, he kept his stance saying, I'm a GM, not a competitor, until Mike hit those key points saying, go home, beg your wife for forgiveness, prove to her you're a man. Oh, wait, you can't do that. You're not even half the man I am. Subtle hint about his height. Because a real man would not let another man talk down about his wife or him. And he would not let him call his wife a filthy, that did it, We got Rock Bloodbath people, former winner of British Boot Camp, former X Division champion from Impact Wrestling, took Kurt Angle to the limit one-on-one, nearly won the Impact World Championship, former running mate with EC3, feuding with EC3. I am so excited for this, but I will say this, because you call a stipulation. I think there already is a stipulation for this in play, psychologically especially, because imagine this. Drake Maverick said, I'm sorry, but there's only so much a man can take. So you want the opportunity? I'm going to give you the opportunity because that's what I'm going to do. Because I'm the GM of 205 Live. But your match is with me. And he can actually wrestle if not, and is a decent human being, unlike Enzo Amore. But anyway, if Mike wins, he finally gets his opportunity, and he can rub it in Drake Maverick's face the rest of his life. Because, again, Mike disclosed the two reasons he resigned. He resigned, one, to become Cruiserweight champ and prove to not only himself but his wife what he is, in his own words, and two, kick Drake Maverick's ass. He's got a chance. So I have to imagine there's going to be slight repercussions, maybe, like a clause or something like that Drake Maverick did this. But I feel like now he solidified himself as GM, not only because he's given this opportunity to Mike, we're going to see him wrestle. Actual wrestle, not gimmick bullshit management nonsense they did on the other show we don't give a damn about for a number of reasons. Even under a creative bullshit direction or whatever. The bottom line is this. This promo proved why 205 Live matters and can prove to you it's more than wrestling. It does bring a story. So I cannot wait when this match is officially made. And to our knowledge, that time recording, this match has not been made official yet for any week yet. The commentary hasn't even put it up. I highly doubt it will be next week, but it's got to be soon.
Anyway. Maybe a SummerSlam.
That would be interesting considering that and the Cruiserweight title would be on the same night. That means for the first time in I don't know how long, maybe the first time ever, you get two matches from 205 Live on the same show, which would ecstatic me. One would have to be on the main card, and you're already setting up your next Cruiserweight title match. I actually wouldn't mind that. But until I see the graphic that's made official, I'm just going to keep that fantasy want to myself in the meantime. And poor Jackson James, I hope that paycheck was worth it. Hey, I mean, they get paid no matter what, right? So, it is what it is. All right. So, following that, we recap last week's match, which, in one word, carnage. What a bout between Oni Lorcan and Arya Daivari. Still probably wearing the battle. Definitely were feeling it afterwards when neither man could really get up on their feet. And some people called it the most physical, impactful match on 205 Live, according to social media. It depends how much you know about the brand. But going from physical to technical. What a masterpiece Chad Gable and Jack Gallagher put on, to the point that Bayley, appreciate you, Bayley, she supports this brand, been looking forward to this rematch, and only said this is pure pro wrestling. You cannot define this match in a better way besides pure pro wrestling. From the technical, to the striking, to the history, to the respect, to the ending. Everything about this was perfect. And it deserved every bit of a standing ovation it got at the end, from me included. Chris, take me through this match in your own words, and what you thought of it, and what you see next for both men.
Okay, first off, let's go back real quick in the history. We talked about this before. We've had discussed before. I remember good brother Chris made this comment for too. That last match they had, Chad Gable's debut. They said it was a botch, that the gentleman Jack Gallagher was not supposed to have been counted out. So we don't know what we would have had as the finish of that match had he not slipped and got counted out. But you know what? It is what it is. It got us to this match. It got storytelling involved because it built up a story where Jack, the gentleman, was trying to build himself back up. Got some wins under his belt, getting himself confident again. Chad Gable, that man is a beast. They so underutilized him on the main roster. He is so much more. He was great with his tag team partner, Jason Jordan. I'm sorry people hate Jason Jordan, but he was great. They were great as a tag team. You better realize that real quick. That man, they both were great at that time. Like I said, they underutilized Chad Gable. Now he's in 205 Live. He probably has to be the biggest one there. He probably has to be right at 205, right at that limit.
202 pounds, like a couple of others. He's right there at the peak.
Oh, my God. This match was a pure clinic. If you want to talk about technical wrestling for the year and a match, go watch this match. It was from start to finish a pure masterpiece. It was probably one of the best, it has to be easily on my top 5 list, the best matches for 205 Live this year alone. It definitely makes me think about my top 25 list that I already had wrote out. Definitely makes me think about that at this point. But however, I digress on that one. But however, like I said, they both left everything they had in the ring. This match was phenomenal. I pretty much had to give. I'm not getting up right now, but I would give it a standing ovation if I hadn't worked all day right now. That's how good this match was. And you can take it away, Noah, because you will get to all the technical stuff that they did.
I'll try to. Jeez. Yeah, because I watched this match twice, and each time I'm like, I didn't know they do that, I didn't know they do that, I didn't know Gable pull that out. Let me see what I can do briefly, because I don't want to just, give people an audible wrestling match.
Yeah.
I want you to go watch it. So if you're already tired of listening, go watch this match. Okay. So, of course, they recap the events of last week, and we get some basic chain wrestling. Both men trying to match each other move for move. There was wrist locks, there was arm drags, drop kicks, stalemate. Both men in the ring. Crowd watching anticipation, slow clapping. Jack, he slows down the pace of the match to the point you hear him breathing because he's like, okay, Gable, he's got a lot to know. And keep in mind, he did not know about Gable last time. He now knows Gable. So, of course, he was on his A game. And he was in this match. He slowed the pace, but Gable, of course, he came through with a bunch of roll throughs, deep arm drag, one arm drag into an arm bar. Jack picked up, though, into a short arm scissors. Very unique way to trap the arm. A couple of rollbacks to some pin attempts, nothing special. But Gable, then, we go from technical to strength as he lifts with one arm Jack Gallagher from the floor and suplexes him. Stands up and just suplexes him, drops him. And, of course, we get a quick cover, nothing special. Then we get into the striking game, where both men are just striking the hell out of each other. But Chad Gable, he starts working the ankle. Surprise, surprise to his hero, Kurt Angle. The ankle of Jack Gallagher. Get a hard-ass whip and some belly-to-bellies, another cover, nothing special. But then we get a nasty dragon screw. Man, the way you torque the leg like that had to suck. Following that, he continues to work the knee now. Once again, being calculated and breaking down Jack Gallagher for the ankle lock, one of his finishers and specialties. There was a spinning toe hold. You could see him gripping to make sure he couldn't slip out of it, but he found a way out of it. But then he countered it into a single leg crab. Very ingenious. Roll up into a drop kick. Beautiful vertical drop kick. The crowd picks up after that. This is Jack Gallagher's moment. He picks up the pace of the match. And then at one point, the men, they're striking each other. Jack drops him with a hard right. And then we see Jack Gallagher's strength as witness with a 15-second vertical suplex of his own. Not completely 180 degrees, but still. Eyes toward the ceiling, suspending Chad Gable, rushing the blood to his head, only to drop him for a near fall. Then we get double wrist lock outer counter suplex by Jack Gallagher, trying to break down Chad Gable, because Chad Gable's strength is in his suplexing. He can't suplex if he can't grip the man. But we get a middle rope drop kick from Jack Gallagher, trying to keep the man down. And then we get a callback, the history. We find Chad Gable to the outside of the ring, and Jack Gallagher, he's going for the suicide dive. No. He changed it to the baseball slide and throws Gable into the barricade, then goes for the suicide dive. But he still ends up almost costing himself, as afterwards, it looked like he went over him, or Chad Gable tried to attempt to catch him. Probably the nearest thing you could say to botch in this match, only to get, once again, suplexed, high-angle suplex on his shoulders and head. And when it looked like we're going to get a count-out, Gable says, no, I'm not winning like that. He literally throws Jack Gallagher in the ring, only to almost get caught in an inside cradle roll-up. Following this, we get underhook powerbomb into an ankle lock from Chad Gable. Very, very nicely done. But then we get just hammer fist and hammer fist and hammer fist. Jack Gallagher unleashing everything he can to avoid submitting, because he was this close submitting to the ankle lock. But no, he just keeps knocking the side of the jaw, and it worked, and the crowd picked up on this as both men were stalemated, laying on the mat. Then we get a beautiful combination, rolling Kappa kick from Chad Gable into a rebound headbutt by Jack Gallagher, who literally falls unconscious into the pinfall attempt. Closest near fall in the match. We thought that was it. No, it wasn't. Both men now up on their feet, hard exchange, wicked chop by freaking Jack Gallagher to Chad Gable. Then infuriated the men. The chops and fists, they continued. Jack unleashed hell on him in the corner. Following this, we get a drop kick attempt countered into the takeover suplex, almost into the roll through to the pin. No, instead, he literally catches him and pulls out a brand new move. I don't even know what you call it. It was like a takeover suplex, face first DDT into another near fall. Incredible by Chad Gable. Truly showing what he's capable of that we haven't seen yet. Then Gable, he goes into a moonsault only to eat the boots of Jack Gallagher right underneath the jaw with the perfect gentleman's drop kick, the best I've seen him hit it, right underneath the jaw to Chad Gable. Looked like he was going to win, but somehow he was aware enough to put his foot on the bottom rope. The only mistake Jack Gallagher made here was he was too close to the ropes and didn't grab the outside leg, which of course led Gable to finally win the match after countering a superplex into a cross body, turning his body in midair on Jack Gallagher, landing on top of Jack Gallagher, only to freaking do a roll-through German suplex, bridging pin attempt for the win. 1, 2, 3. Chaos Theory, they called it. And my God, it got a standing ovation from not only me, but the commentary, but the entire arena. Both men deserve it. Both men put on a clinic. And in the end, it was founded on respect with the light bump, and Gable gave Jack the ring. Wow. That is why 205 Live matters. And that is why you need to at least give this match a chance and check it out. Go check out a highlight. WWE and the commentating did it justice. And so did the freaking comments. You'd be surprised how many people actually comment positively on 205 Live on the WWE website. There actually is people that do care about this besides me, folks. Surprise, surprise. But I digress. What an incredible match! Although now I'm really curious. Where does this put Jack Gallagher? It almost looked like it was like a little send-off for him. Is he going to NXT UK? Where does he go from here? This has got to be his roughest loss to date, and I honestly don't know how he can recover. But, of course, Drake Maverick, if he focuses on his duties, he's going to talk about what have you done for me lately. Jack Gallagher putting on this clinic and giving Gable this match to remember, it's got to put him somewhere in title picture. Whether it's a qualifying match, I don't know what, but you got to imagine he's going to still be a stable 205 Live and somehow put towards the title one way or another in the coming months. What an incredible match and closing to this show. Damn. All right, so now that I ranted enough about that and gave you my own little light Marmanella breakdown without Mamma Mia, let's go ahead and grade this week's episode. And Chris, I'll let you start off. On a scale of 1 to 5, what would you grade this week's episode of 205 Live?
I'm gonna give it a 4.5. But I will say it point blank, if I was just basing this on the main event alone, I would have easily went past the 5 on this main event. This is by far one of the best, purest matches in the Cruiserweight division I have seen in 15 years easily.
Wow.
This is one of the best Cruiserweight matches from a technical standpoint and a story standpoint. Yes, I have loved other matches on 205 Live, but they had stipulations where you had the no disqualification match. I loved the last week's main event. I loved for the brutality of this, but just from a pure wrestling standpoint, because what they do is wrestle. This is not entertainment. It is to a degree. They are wrestling. They're not doing ballerina stuff. They're not dancing around. They're not acting. This match told the most phenomenal story in 205 Live history, in my opinion, because to me, you could tell the passion they had and how Jack Gallagher, you had the look, the gentleman's look, where he had no idea at what point what he could do. You could see in his face. He had no idea what else he could do. He gave him everything. He had no idea what else to do with this man. And Chad Gable the same way. What do I have to do to put this man down? I've given him everything. He's still not down. This match is probably one of the best and perfect examples of how to tell a story in the ring in the last 15 years. So I cannot give the show a perfect 5 because it wasn't a perfect show. But however, that match, I want to tell everybody that is the main match you need to watch. If you want to watch a 205 Live match, I ain't worried about my list at the moment. That's the match you need to go watch. That match easily is past a 5. And if Dave Meltzer watch that match, do a rating. If it don't get a 6 on his ratings, I'm going to be completely freaking shocked at this point. That how good that is to me.
Well, Dave Meltzer is a whole nother animal because he may also watch New Japan Pro Wrestling like me, but unless it's New Japan Pro Wrestling, it's a rarity a match even gets a 5 when it's related to WWE. since it hasn't been happened since CM Punk versus John Cena Money in the Bank 2011, but I digress.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I have to agree with you on that. This match alone was worth the entire episode to me. I could have just watched this and be like, oh, wait, that's it? We're done with the show? Okay. But no, I mean, besides a little squash bit, you got this little setup match between Drake Maverick and Mike Kanellis to see what direction 205 Live gets as far as exposure, because in my opinion, this is just really exposure since both men not only work in 205 Live but Monday Night Raw. But pure pro wrestling here is what I'm about this week on 205 Live Matters, especially when we're getting to the other matches we'll talk about too. Yeah, I gotta agree with you. Just because of those reasons, 4.5 out of 5. We don't know what to expect next week. We don't know anything as far as what's going on next week, except for one match we're going to talk about soon. But again, another stellar episode, and you can't ask for a more pure pro wrestling match than that from WWE, especially. All right, go ahead and talk about some simple stances. I want to open a nice discussion with this: Cruiserweights evolve. Because, boy, have the Cruiserweights been in action this past week. Not only on Extreme Rules, but where a lot of these guys have rolled through, there were Cruiserweight matches on the Evolve 10th anniversary show, which I watched entirely. And I'll give credit where credit's due. The Evolve talent is very impressive. Shorty Blackheart, you're freaking insane on the Suicide Dive to the chairs. Austin Fury, I can see him definitely going on a strong run in NXT. But I'm going to look at the Cruiserweight matches here. We had Gulak versus Matt Riddle in a catch-point reunion, and Akira Tozawa versus Adam Cole, baby, for the NXT Championship. Now, in my opinion, I may be being biased, but this is just me. Both matches told a different story. The match of strikes and the match of respect. Because that's what Catchpoint was found on Drew Gulak disclosed, as I did some history before this too. He found Drew Gulak on 3 principles: competition, opportunity, and respect. And he brought Matt Riddle into the fold. So this was a catch-point match. An incredible back-and-forth affair with strong strikes. I thought at one point I thought Drew Gulak was going to win when he finally caught him in the Gulak towards the end. But Matt Riddle slipped out, and the streak continues because apparently Matt Riddle and Drew Gulak in singles action, Gulak has yet to beat Riddle. The streak continues. It was a very good match. In the end, he had to pull out a move we haven't seen in a while. Bro Derek, not the floating bro, a different move. And he got him for the cover for the win. Now, Akira Tozawa, Adam Cole, you knew how this was going to go down, but this was a match of kicks and strikes. At one point, Akira Tozawa eating Punk kicks, but that Bushido kicking in like he's becoming Super Saiyan or something. Walks into another, only to kick the crap out of Adam Cole, only to get kicked in the face, both men down. That was probably my favorite moment of the match. So, bottom line, I thought both of these matches was very well executed, but I thoroughly enjoyed, of course, Drew Gulak versus Matt Riddle. So I'm taking a little bit of time to discuss and briefly disclose. Chris, did you see the Evolve show at all? And if you did, what were your thoughts on these 2 matches?
I watched the Evolve show, finally got to work on the network because the first time I had to watch highlights because the network wasn't letting me watch it, and I finally caught the whole thing. Yeah. Riddle and Gulak, that was a match that I thought was very damn good. That was simply an awesome match. I wish, like I said, that's a match that I don't want to see in WWE. I don't want to see it on the main roster. I want to see it either NXT or 205 Live, even though Riddle's not the size for 205 Live. But since Gulak's been traveling NXT, would love to see another matchup of that because we know you just described the history. Gulak's never beaten Riddle. So I would love to see them have a match again and have that damn good of a match as they did, because Gulak has also proven that he can wrestle heavyweights, because Riddle's considered a heavyweight. Gulak can wrestle anybody. He is that damn good. He's not just classified as a cruiserweight wrestler. He's one of those great wrestlers that can wrestle anybody, any style, and he can make it work.
Adapt to survive. That is Gulak's model, Gulak's stance. It's like redefining catch point. And you're right, because, again, the 2 men, Riddle and Gulak, they have faced off in NXT. This match was right up there with that one. So I honestly do hope these men face each other one-on-one again down the line under different circumstances, treated even bigger and better by WWE. But I thought this was a very great match, my favorite of the night. Maybe second, if people want me to go, it's Evolve, you should focus on Evolve. Maybe second to Ospreay versus VD Drake, because that was an incredible 30-minute affair. But I digress. All right. So
You got to think about Tozawa and Adam Cole. They actually had a really damn good match.
they did it for the most part.
The only criticism I would say was you didn't really need Johnny Gargano to come out there and try to cause a distraction. They were telling a great story without that. I know they're trying to go on with that feud because we know that's probably what's coming up for TakeOver is Cole and Gargano 3. I understand that, but like I said, Tozawa was having a damn good match, and everybody underestimates Tozawa. Tozawa can just as well perform with anybody, too, whether big or small or whoever. He can perform just as well. And, of course, it's Adam Cole, baby. So you know he ain't going to lose that NXT title to Akira Tozawa. As much as I love Tozawa, he wasn't going to lose. But, damn it, for that split second, you had that suspension of disbelief. It's like, oh, my God, are they really going to pull this off? But when Tozawa missed, it's like, oh, it's done.
Yeah, and again, his freaking, failed moment was, of course, Top Rope Senton. He ate his back, and then he took a freaking Ushigoroshi into a freaking Panama Sunrise last shot cover win. So, but yeah, you're right. It was a strong, hard-hitting affair. A lot of kicks, like I said. There was some good technical wrestling though here too with Insecurity. Adam Cole, of course, stroking his ego early, like I'm the greatest. Thank you very much. Because Adam Cole. Baby, only as we know him, and that's undisputed. And of course, have my favorite spots from Akira Tozawa with the fake out jab, a nice super kick spot. There was a super kick party in its own sort. Shout out to AEW. And again, it was a fun match, but right, belt came into play with Johnny Gargano, with stop that, cheap roll up attempt, snap German attempt into a 360 Insecurity, one Akira Tozawa staples, and then we got the finish. But again, Evolve was a pretty awesome show for the most part. I enjoyed it. And the last 3 matches overall, they were great. But out of those 3, I got to go with Gulak versus Riddle because Catch Point was freaking awesome. All right. So moving on from there, what do you want to discuss tonight on Simple Stances?
Well, this is going to be a change of pace. I figured we're going to do something a little different with this. So I'm going to I want to say something real quick. Just over 12 years ago, the man named Jeff Meacham, he started that show, Talk Wrestling.
Yeah.
He was one of the reasons that I started actually watching any kind of wrestling podcasts and everything like that. But then I also involved in Aaron Riff doing his, no DQ and A videos and everything like that. So both men at one point I asked this question to. I can't remember which episode Jeff answered it, but I know Aaron answered it on episode 384. That was the first time he ever answered a question. So I'm going to just take time here at history. I'm going to ask this question, but I'm going to do it with a twist here, so it's because it involves 205 Live.
All right.
So the question I asked him originally many years ago, because that's a long time ago now, was if Ric Flair came back and he had to form 4 men to recreate the 4 horsemen of this era, who would he be? But see, now I'm going to change it now. So now let's say if Ric Flair came back. Now he goes, for some reason, he wants to decide he's going to build up a new 4 horsemen, but he's only going to use 4 205 Live stars. Which 4 men could you see making a new 4 horsemen and actually having a legitimate faction in 205 Live?
Wow. Oh, man. Well, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me to see that happen. I would like to see that happen because, again, he reinvented 4 horsemen with the faction Fortune back in TNA. So why not try and do that with 205 Live? And as far as my 4 for that faction, as far as my 4 for that faction, oh, man. That's a loaded question. I almost want to figure out all the names on the 205 Live roster that Drake Maverick ran down in his promo talking about the men that built the brand and not their own agenda. So obviously I feel like those are the men he would use. So think about that off the top of my head. If I were to pick 4, I would pick the following as the 4 men. You would have to pick Tony Nese based on athleticism alone. Drew Gulak, he's the freaking champ. You know he's got to be represented in that faction because literally the other men can build off this guy. He could be the lead horseman in this faction because obviously Ric Flair's not going to be in this faction. He's going to be the one that builds and picks the lead man, kind of like how AJ was the lead man in Fortune. But anyway, going back to that. Drew Gulak, Tony Nese. That's where it gets tough. You know what? Just because of veteranism, I gotta go with the Brian Kendrick. He could probably be like an Arn Anderson almost, with his unorthodox nature but physical force. And as far as the fourth. Now, the fourth. I feel like the fourth needs a special entity, needs to be something unique, something that you wouldn't expect. I'm going to go, actually, with a guy that's been on the NXT Breakout Tourney, Walking Wilder, the former DJZ. So that would be my four horsemen of 205 Live, and I would see what all four of them would bring, because you have the high aerial offense, you have the physicality, and the Mad Professor, you have the Enforcer / the unorthodox one, and then you also have, of course, just pure athleticism, powerhouse. You got a little bit of everything. So those would be my four. The former DJZ, Tony Nese, Drew Gulak, and the Brian Kendrick. Whew.
All right, so mine would be Drew Gulak as the leader of the Four Horsemen. I would agree with Tony Nese. That would be my second pick. But you need somebody with brute strength and power and will go crazy at a moment's notice. You need Oney Lorcan as the third one.
Ah.
You need him because you need the powerhouse, but then you need that young up-and-comer. You need that one that's going to be built for the future, that this group with the Four Horsemen, who in the history of the Four Horsemen have been able to elevate great men. They've had their bombs, too, Paul Roma, but they've had their bombs on stuff, but they've been able to elevate great wrestlers and mediocre wrestlers into great superstars. So, but this man is not a mediocre superstar. I would add Herberto in there and make him the fourth, because this would elevate him. And then with that Four Horsemen, when you do have the eventual split, you could have it where it's Gulak and Herberto, and then you can go back to that teacher and student dynamic.
Interesting. I like that a lot. If I was going to split between mine, it would probably come between, I would think, Tony Nese and Walking Wild. Apologies if I screwed up that name. Proving which one is the more better athlete. Like, oh, you're not built as me, but you think you can go faster than me. That makes you better. Nah. Because we all know, no faction stays together forever. They will break up one day. Mark my words. And French thing. WWE. But I digress. Okay, that was an awesome, fun, simple stance. Let's go ahead and break into this one. And, of course, suggestions. Thank you to good brother Chris and Cindy. I don't want to do a stance, but I do have a grievance. Okay, you're taking yourself serious as 205 Live GM, but you're also taking yourself serious as a man. But I guess Raw still has you underneath their thumb. Why the hell were you dressed with that, I think, a banana, going after R-Truth and the fucking 24/7 championship, and failed? You realize this is just going to add more fuel to the fire of what Mike Kanellis has said about you and your stance and your job on 205 Live. You just added more fuel to the fire for Mike Kanellis. I bet he's going to blast you on Monday Night Raw, and I'm going to be asleep during it. So that's just a little grievance by me. So unless you have a grievance, I'm going to move on. Do you have anything to add to that?
First off, it was macho man banana. But that's what he was. He was acting like a macho man. But what is the point of this? If you're going to build to a serious feud with Mike Kanellis, why do you go into a Comic-Con and dress as a macho man banana trying to look for R-Truth for the 24/7 title? I mean, it would have been more entertainment if he found R-Truth and tried to get on that table and do an elbow drop like, ooh, yeah, macho man banana, elbow drop. And he tried to do it that way. That could have been kind of entertaining. I would have probably rolled and died laughing. But that didn't happen. He was just going, I haven't consummated my marriage. We know that man in real life had to have consummated his marriage by now. Lord. But anyways, I digress. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about that. There was no entertaining value. It was just pure stupidity at that point.
Yeah, I completely agree on that. So moving on to something a little better, I want to talk about, let's talk about the present and the future. I want to talk about the present. Raw 205 Live Collide. For the longest time, we have had the criticism about the cruiserweights being used on the main roster, caught up in the Superstar Shake-Up / Wild Card Rule / Roman Card Rule, whatever the fuck you want to call it. However, in the last couple of weeks, someone's finally getting a decent spotlight, it seems. Cedric Alexander. Originally, the start with Cedric Alexander was supposed to be the GOAT, the janitor, during that impromptu tag match between Shane McMahon, and Drew, no, I'm not, and Drew McIntyre versus Roman and a partner of their choosing, a janitor. That turned out to be Luchador masked Cedric Alexander, really bringing the hits, only to get Claymore in the face. But he's smiling and be like, hey, what are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, okay, you got TV time, you got the opportunity to showcase your skills in the main event. Good for you. And then I figured it was going to fade to obscurity. That wasn't the case, however, since the results of Extreme Rules, where Drew McIntyre, I am hot under 100-degree weather. I'm not in the mood for people criticizing my botches. Just roll along with me, people. Anyway, Drew McIntyre goes into the locker room, talking to a bunch of people, and there's Sir Alexander. He calls him out for a match, says, okay, there's going to be you who regrets it. And he picks up a quick roll-up victory. Now, I know what people are thinking. Oh, God, it's 50-50 booking. Drew McIntyre's going to destroy him next week, and then he'll fade to obscurity. I'm going to be a little more optimistic on this. And I'm not going to talk about Buddy Murphy because all I see him being is just, spot monkey for Shane's heel faction against KO. Unless they do KO versus Buddy Murphy, a legitimate match, Buddy Murphy is still irrelevant. Simple as that. So I want to get your thoughts on, if you want, you can talk about Buddy Murphy too. What are your thoughts on Cedric Alexander? Do you see them actually propelling him forward or fading to obscurity next week at 50 booking? And do you actually see anything happening for Buddy Murphy?
Let's see here. Cedric Alexander's win kind of reminded me, going old school, was the day after Super Brawl in 1999 when it was Kevin Nash versus Rey Mysterio, big man versus small man, and Rey Mysterio got that shock win.
Right.
That's what it kind of reminded me of. They did a callback to that, and they had Cedric Alexander get the win over the Scottish psychopath, Drew McIntyre. Everybody's shocked that he wins. Cedric Alexander is a damn good wrestler. I'm sorry to say, he is very good at what he does. Like I said, will they have a matchup next week? We will see. Will they do 50-50 booking? I hope to God not, because I hope this builds into something where Drew McIntyre starts snapping. If we're talking about main roster just a second, I hope it builds up to where Drew McIntyre just starts snapping and everything like that, and he feuds with The Undertaker. But this also will help build Cedric Alexander up. If he can get another win over the Scottish psychopath, that would put him on a roll, and that would hopefully elevate him to bigger things. And that's what I'm hoping for. I hope they don't try to do this 50-50 booking crap. Not everybody has to have their win back. They didn't do this a long time ago. Why they think this is a great idea in the last 5 years, I have no idea, but it doesn't work. It doesn't build anybody up when you have, I won. Well, I won last week. Well, I won 2 weeks ago.
It's such good shit.
Yeah.
All right. Any thoughts on Buddy Murphy and the fact that he said, Kevin Owens, keep my name out of your mouth? Do you think the ability towards Buddy Murphy versus KO?
If they do that match and there's no interference, I think they can have a damn good match if there's no interference or no Shane McMahon walking around saying he's the best in the world at sucking dick. At this point, I don't know what he's the best in the world at. But, I mean, at this point, I'm so tired of Shane McMahon anymore. I'm tired of it. Somebody just kick his ass and get him off TV for a while. But if you do Buddy Murphy versus Kevin Owens, that will be a damn good match if there's not a bunch of outside interference. I think they could put on a clinic.
And if you don't push for the fact, we got to get this done before our commercial break, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Or put a stipulation in, blah, blah, blah. Or someone comes out on commentary and attacks, blah, blah, blah. Or turn into a tag match, blah, blah, blah. Stop
Or
with this
2 out of 3 falls match.
Stupid bullshit. All right? Damn. I really hope the rumors are true that KO is rounding off Shane from our TVs. And I hope it's permanent. And I hope I see it at SummerSlam. I hope he breaks the neck. I hope he breaks the man in half. I'm sorry, is that vindictive? Sorry, not sorry. I'm sick of Shane McMahon on my television. It's wasted time for me, and that's why I'd rather watch a jar of mayonnaise from Rocco's Modern Life for 10 minutes versus Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live. But I digress. Blah! Anyway, okay, I feel better now. All right, before we get into our list, I got one more thing I think we should definitely talk about, and I'll ask you if you have one more thing too. So we actually do know something that's happening next week that is exciting a lot of people in the wrestling community, including the indie queen, Cindy G, and good brother, Christopher Willis. Drew Gulak will be facing in a non-title bout Isaiah Scott Swerve, a.k.a. Shane Strickland. When I saw this, I was like, yes! And a lot of people agree with me, including Oli Lorcan, who says, most interesting. So Alexander, yes, I must see this. And Adam Pierce, shout out to you, Adam Pierce, saying, hey, this is going to be must watch. Get ready. Oh, I'm so stoked for this. For those of you who don't know, Shane Strickland, aka Isaiah Scott Swerve. He is NXT Breakout Tourney participant. I believe he lost his match against Trevor Lee, aka Crimson Grimes. What's his name? Cameron Grimes. I hate these fucking name changes, by the way.
Yeah.
Eric Bugenhagen was so priceless. Anyway, Cameron Grimes. He lost to Cameron Grimes, aka Trevor Lee. So now they're giving him this 205 Live spot to showcase his talents against Drew Gulak. This has shades of being as good as Humberto Carrillo in his debut versus the Cruiserweight champ at that time, Buddy Murphy. Shane Strickland's been all over the place. He's been in LLW, and I know him best from Lucha Underground under the former identity of Killshot, where I thought he was going to kill himself in the Hell of War match against Dante Fox, and he was finally rid of the promotion in Match vs. Match against, what's his name? The Havoc, excuse me. He even faced Sami Callihan in a street fight at one point. So I am very, very looking forward to this match. And if I have to pick a winner, I'm just going to go and say it. I feel like, of course, Drew Gulak's going to win, but he's definitely going to give the nod to this guy. Catchpoint Fury. Competition, opportunity, respect. All three will be achieved. Chris, what are your thoughts on this upcoming match, the outcome, and what do you see next for Shane Strickland, a.k.a. Isaiah Scott? Swerve.
I think it's interesting how he lost in the NXT and all of a sudden he's getting a matchup with the Cruiserweight champion Drew Gulak. Like I said, I remember him from Lucha Underground as Killshot.
Yes.
Oh my fucking God. If, like I said, that man is crazy and incredible and anything you want to say. If you ever watch Lucha Underground, if you haven't watched it, check that out too. That's some great shit.
Crazy in general, just saying.
Watch Killshot perform, and you're gonna. If you don't know anything about this man, all I can suggest is watch him as Killshot and Lucha Underground. That's the only thing I can suggest. That would be a Cindy G and Good Brother Chris question on everything else, but that's how I remember him as Killshot. Point is, this is going to be a damn good match. And I expect Drew Gulak to win. He's the champion. I expect him to win. But I think this is going to be a very close match. It's going to be very competitive. It's going to come down, if storytelling-wise, it's going to come down to one mistake, and Drew Gulak's going to capitalize on it. But I expect this to be a damn good match. And if this is this man's future in 205 Live, this is going to be an awesome fucking addition to 205 Live. This will definitely help build up 205 Live.
Oh, without a doubt. I almost want to see this guy face Cedric Alexander or Rich Swann, who of course is an Impact thing, because I feel like a triple threat between those three men could go all night long, no pun intended. That's a match that could go 60 minutes, but I digress on fantasy booking. All right. So with that, is there anything else you want to add to Non-Simple Stances before we go through our next match on our list?
Okay, I got one more for you, because the big one I'm going to ask, I'm going to wait until we have Cindy G and Good Brother Chris on here for that one.
All
right, so who do you see here anytime soon in the future where we're going to have a mask versus title match for the Cruiserweight title match again? Because all we have right now is Lucha House Party. So if we're not going to do that kind of a match with them, who could you see them bringing in? What famous luchador or any masked wrestler from Japan or anywhere in the world, who could you see them bringing into 205 Live, and especially in building up to have a mask versus title match? Because those are something that were great back in WCW, back in AAA, back in history. Those are some incredible matches to me, because like I said, that mask means everything to them. In the history of Mexican wrestling, that mask means everything to them. That mask means everything to them in Japan. So who could you see coming, whether it's right now, if you want to use Lucha House Party, that's fine, because like I said, that would be interesting to me with him and Kalisto, because that'd be interesting to me at that point. Yeah. But who could you see them bringing in? What masked wrestler could you see them bringing in? And you would see one of few with Drew Gulak for a mask versus title match.
There are a few names that come to mind right now in today's era of wrestling, and I'm going to go across promotions, because in the very first TakeOver, and I'm still waiting for the first 205 Live pay-per-view special, and I feel like this is the perfect opportunity to do something like that. You remember they brought in Jushin Thunder Liger to take on Tyler Breeze. Jushin Thunder Liger is due to retire next year at Wrestle Kingdom. I want to see him and Drew Gulak go one-on-one. There is a perfect match versus title match. But obviously, I don't see them doing that. I would just love to see that match happen one-on-one. The one last time you see Jushin Thunder Liger in a WWE ring. But if you're not going to do that, maybe bring in someone else as special from the independent scene. I would go with the former IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, Dragon Lee. I think Dragon Lee would be a very dynamic opponent for Drew Gulak, and I know he's doing a lot right now with Ring of Honor, so I feel like that would be a great showing for him. But if you're going to stick with present day and you're going to stick with this company, there's only two names that come to mind off the top of my head. One that you purely just said, Kalisto, leader, in my opinion, of Lucha House Party, former Cruiserweight champion. I could see them honestly building towards that some way, somehow, maybe later in the fall between these two, under those circumstances and relations, because Drew Gulak is all against the Lucha House Party style. Even if he isn't safe and sound feet on the ground anymore, I still believe he's against everything Lucha House Party stands for. But if you're not going to do that, and you got to use a big name with a mask, in WWE, it's obvious to me it's got to be, before he's done wrestling, Rey Mysterio. And maybe this is the match that Rey Mysterio would not only lose, but he would pass on his mask to his son, Dominic. So those are my thoughts on that. Incredible simple stance. And folks, let us know what you think in the comments down below. That's your question of the week. Who would you like to see in a mask versus title match for the Cruiserweight Championship match? Then, now, or later? Please let us know in the comments down below. All right.
But so I got an interesting one for you, though, to pitch, though. What I would do right now is, if anybody watches NXT UK in the last few weeks, you've seen these promos with Ligero. He talks about how that mask brings him confidence and everything like that. He can legitimately go to 205 Live and wrestle for them. So why not have some kind of storyline where later on down the road he goes to 205 Live and wrestles and he faces Drew Gulak? You have the storyline where he loses the match at first and everything like that, and he wants another shot. And Drew Gulak denies him. Nope, I've already beat you. And he finally goes, I'll put the one thing on the line. I'll put my mask on the line. Because if you watch his promos, he says that mask gives him confidence. That's everything. That mask means everything to him. That gives him confidence. So he puts the one thing that gives him confidence on the line, his mask versus that title, and then you can have that match, because that could go either way. That matchup could either go either way, where Drew Gulak's finally defeated by Ligero, or Ligero has to lose the mask. And that one I'd be very intrigued with, just because of the fact of the promos that Ligero has done on NXT UK.
Yeah, I completely agree on that too. But the thing is, apparently 205 Live and NXT UK, they only meet like twice a year during international touring. So honestly, I don't see that story building up till then. And I'm not sure when the next time WWE will be over in jolly old England. So that's kind of why I was picking Ligero as one of my lords. That's why I just went with my top three: Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, and what was the other one I said? I already lost it. Jushin Thunder Liger.
Jushin Thunder Liger.
Or Kalisto, yeah. So top four. But, all right. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and close as we do now, because we're on our way to episode 50, and we are counting down our favorite top 25 cruiserweight matches of the 205 Live brand. So last week, we both debuted on number 25. I'm going to make polls for these now, too, and see what the rest of the community thinks in our 205 Live Match Facebook group. Join the group, y'all. Hashtag 205 Live Match. So this is, of course, number 24. Last week you went first, so I'll go first this week. So I was thinking about this for a little bit, and I'm like, okay, you could probably fill it up with the same cruiserweight. You could probably fill it up with just title matches. But there's more to cruiserweight wrestling in 205 Live than just the title matches and just the men you see now in the way they are. They were under a different incarnation, and it wasn't always just surrounded by the title every episode. So I actually went with a debut on this one. I went with Drew Gulak versus Gran Metalik from episode 12. This was when Marwin Aries and Corey Graves were the commentary. This was the super early stages of 205 Live, basically being built with no GM and no real direction. It was just like wrestling and wrestlers from the Cruiserweight division. This was Gran Metalik's debut, who was a finalist in the Cruiserweight Classic that year, only losing to TJP, while Drew Gulak was out on a chip on his shoulder because he wasn't involved in a match the previous week, which might be on my list, so I'm not going to disclose it. I thought it was a nice, fun affair of what the Lucha Libre style can bring the 205 Live roster, as Corey Graves pointed out, one of the smartest calls he ever made, and how this brings high aerial offense and hard-hitting dynamics to the 205 Live brand. Truth be told, there was a slight botch spot, everybody saw it, but in the end, Gran Metalik, he won, not really dominantly, but he won over Drew Gulak, and where both men were down the middle of the ring. This was also a time when the Cruiserweight ring that had the Cruiserweight logo on the ring, had purple robes, when 205 Live was much more demonstrative for what it actually was.
Mm.
Now, Brand, not post SmackDown Live, which, of course, the only reason I watch Tuesday nights anymore. But for my number 24, I went with Drew Gulak versus Grand Metalik debut. What about you? Oh, by the way, folks, in case you want to watch, this is from episode 12, February 14th, 2017. What's yours, Chris?
It would most likely be. Let me get situated. I got to stretch for a second. It would most likely be. Number 24 was from 2 years ago, July 18, 2017. Mustafa Ali versus Drew Gulak, 2 out of 3 falls.
Oh, nice. Take me through your process picking that match.
Well, like I said, I've had to watch a lot of 205 Live matches to come up with this 25 list for sure. But the main thing with this was the reason why this is so low is because, like I said, I liked the match, but there was a lot of other matches I loved more. So I went with this match because it was very interesting. Mustafa Ali got the first fall pretty quickly in the match. Gulak got the second fall with the Gulak, and what I found interesting was that Gulak, I don't know why I'm calling Gulak, but he got the Gulak on and he kept it on. He kept it on him after the bell rang, so he was trying to do more damage and more damage. Right. And then at the end of it, like I said, Mustafa Ali getting the win with the 054 is what it's called. Yeah, 054. It has been so long since I've seen him wrestle, it's not even funny anymore. But anyway, so that's pretty much what the main storyline with that was. They were having their feud at the time, so that's why I picked that as number 24. I thought it was a good match. I rewatched it again just to take some notes and remember about that because it's been a while since I've seen it, so that was why I put it at number 24. That's actually a good 2 out of 3 falls match since the main roster loves 2 out of 3 falls matches every single week.
Or elimination matches. Don't get me started on that. But hey, NXT knows how to deliver a gimmick match too. I'm Cole, baby. Versus Johnny Gargano. It's freaking incredible. And I will leave it, of course, to the Wizard, Stephen Osborne, and the General Jerry Slaughter to disclose to you what you can expect from Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole, G-Plug, on What's NXT. So go watch it, folks, and support my friends. All right, well, great picks tonight. And I think with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are done here this week on 205 Live Matter. Thank you once again for joining us. Let's go ahead and do Chris. It's always a pleasure. Showtime Chris at Best You. I hope you have a wonderful birthday this weekend. Where can people find you? What would you like to plug?
Well, we can't find me for one more week, but hopefully I'll be out of Facebook jail soon, so we'll be good. But like I said, support Aftermatch Wrestling, support the Chopping Block, support Cindy G, James Nolan. They all do great work with everything they're doing. Like I said, support this man right here. He's the founder of 205 Live Matters. He got started with this stuff, and I joined along, and I guess we both on this ride together right now. It seems like every week, except for occasional here or there. But we're on this ride together with 205 Live because it matters to both of us. It matters to Cindy and good brother Chris and everybody else that's been on this show before. It matters to us. Just give it a chance. If you don't like it, it's not your cup of tea. Sorry, I'm going to have to steal Jerry and Stefan's line there, but if it's not your cup of tea, okay, well, that's fine. It don't have to be your cup of tea, but give it a chance, especially this main event we had tonight. Definitely, if you want to watch some damn good wrestling, watch that main event we just had on this week's episode.
And shout out to you, TJS, with the Elite of No DQ for acknowledging how great this event is. And even though you say it doesn't necessarily, the brand matters because you feel like it would work better in Full Sail, I appreciate your opinion and at least looking into what 205 Live offers. You will join us soon, I'm sure, my friend. Continue. All right,
like I said, that was it.
All right. Well, as always, a pleasure, sir, and have a wonderful birthday weekend with your family. God bless you all. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know more about me, know this. I'm just a simple man and a lifelong fan of wrestling. So if you want to follow me and talk anything wrestling, you can look me up and chat with me at NoDQ.com/Noah Takes to my Twitter page, or at nfoster1916 if you hate URLs. And you know what? My channel is almost 1 year old, actually. I think I got like a couple more months left, so it's 1 year old. So, the hell of it. Evolution. If you want to follow hashtag SimpleManInLife, because I literally own that hashtag on Instagram, no one else does that but me, I found out. And you actually can follow me on Instagram to get a morning stance, wrestling once in a while, food, and just a simple personality. Of course, also at nfoster 1916. It's like my gamer tag. It's like my thing I connect to everything. It's simple. Simple as that. If you haven't already, please check out my new Facebook group, hashtag 205 Matters, where I host weekly discussions, a welcome to everybody every week, and we also go further into what we discuss on these episodes every week as far as stances, matches, and competitors. Join the fun. It's all about 205 Live, not just the brand, but the art, the wrestlers, the history, the weight class, and where you see it and how, no matter where you be. And if you want to talk anything further outside 205 Live, also, look me up on my Sybil YouTube channel at youtube.com/user/ Noah Foster 210, where there you will find predictions, retrospectives, simple takes, and all sorts of other stuff on all things outside WWE primarily, mostly on AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Independent Wrestling, Support Independent Wrestling, folks, Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, and other various promotions as well. I'm currently looking at Stardom World, expecting an interview on that, and currently I'm looking at the G1. I have to do predictions at Simple Take on what I saw today and what's coming up tomorrow. I'll also be doing predictions on Ring of Honor's next two shows, Manhattan Mayhem and Mass Hysteria. And if you haven't already, I think it pretty much says itself, support No DQ. They're the reason I'm in YouTube. So go buy a shirt, nodq.com/shirts, take you to the website, the new shirt website, where you'll find a bunch of new shirts, mugs, tapestry, and you wanted it, good brother Chris, you finally got it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not about me, it's about wrestling, but I do finally have a shirt. Simple as that. So go ahead and buy that shirt if you want, in support of not necessarily me, but my friend Aaron Witt. Thank you, sir. I love the shirt, just like I love Mountain Dew. You'll see what I mean when you see it. But also the old store still up too on Pro Wrestling Tee if you want to buy a shirt. NoDQ.com/shirts. Follow our players in Spotify, hashtag Team NoDQ, over 5,000 songs. Follow NoDQ on other social media platforms. Go make a friend, go make an enemy, go troll Virtue if you dare to on the official website where your opinions matter. There's comment sections and everything. Polls, memes, columns, gifs, reviews, sexy female pics. You name it, it's there, it's wrestling. If you haven't already, there's going to be a NoDQ meetup. I will be there in Toronto, and I will also be seeing SummerSlam and NXT TakeOver Toronto 2 live, as well as Ring of Honor Summer Supercard. It's going to be a hell of a fun time. I hope to see you all there, wrestling fans galore. And as always, as I like to close, support your wrestling outlets, both big and small, and let's keep growing this incredible, diverse, ever-expanding, ever-controversial sometimes, wrestling community together. Simple as that. With that, thank you again so much for tuning in and watching to hashtag 205 Live Matters. Like, share, subscribe, comment, tell a friend, leave me your thoughts below, grievance against me if you want, take me on, I don't care. My stance will always stay true to this. Simple as that. And until next week's episode, or until the next video you might see with me, either on NoDQ or on my Sybil YouTube channel, take care of your family. Stay cool. It's 100 freaking degrees here. I am pissed off right now how hot it is. But with that, enjoy life. Enjoy wrestling. And until next time, I hope you all have a good night.
Have a good night, y'all.
And remember, no matter what, 205 Live matters. Simple as that.
Always.
Period. Bye, everybody.